Good morning. All right, so first of all, the pollen is atrocious. We literally have a pollen alert in this area, so don't mind my sniffling. I'm okay. I just have seasonal allergies. All right, so I want to make this quick. This is going to just be an introduction, and then, so why am I making this coat? And then what kind of is going to be like the challenges of this project. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be challenging. So I like to say that I am from the time in the internet where Jenna Marbles was a bigger YouTuber, so I consider myself to be from the House of Marbles, and that would mean one of Jenna's old jokes is that she had a too much gene. So I would also say, as someone who identifies as being from the House of Marbles, I also have a too much gene. So my too much gene has activated because in this project because I am making this coat because I am aspiring to study abroad in northeastern China, and northeastern China is basically Siberia light. It is very, 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 very cold, and you need to make sure you are going to go with the proper outside gear so you don't lose fingers and toes. However, I'm brown. I'm brown. And if anybody has seen any of the fashion content for when people go abroad and go shopping in like Eastern Asia, and the vendors are like, go to the fat girl level. Because the beauty standard in the beauty standard in Eastern China, or not Eastern China, in East Asia, let's just say East Asia, I would say that most of the Asian world, but East Asia is you need to be like 100 pounds, something ridiculous like that. And then of course the typical Asian body type, they're not very curvy. It's just kind of the phenotype. I am brown, and I hope to never see 100 pounds ever, ever again. And also, I'm fairly curvy compared to what is going to be available for me off the shelf. That's going to be extremely expensive to get in my extra large size. So I was like, no. I did 8 weeks of sewing classes once. I can do this. And that's the gist of my too much gene. So I'm hoping to study abroad for mycology and plant science, and I'm hoping to study in the Northeast, and the Northeast has a ridiculous amount of winter. Siberia light. So that's the point of the project. And I believe that if I haven't been accepted, I will be applying. But if I make the coat, I'm gonna put the energy out into the universe that I've been accepted, right? That's how we're gonna do this. The new age, set your intention. And if I don't, I have a badass coat. So there are a couple of things about this project that I probably that are gonna I'm just gonna struggle bust through them. Number one is I never worked. Ooh, sorry, my allergies, like I said. I've never worked with wool before. So this is a Melton nylon blend. So, and I have not worked with this kind of insulation. So this is called Thinsulate. This is going to keep me from I'm sorry. My allergies. This is called Thinsulate. This is gonna be what's gonna be my liner, and it's going to make sure that my coat is actually Siberia light proof. This pattern called for so infusible because why not? And then also we have just a classic black satin for our complete lining. So that's challenge number one. I've never worked with wool before. Challenge number two is I intend to custom dye this wool. I intend to custom dye this wool. I am hoping for a color called Dockside Blue. Sherwin-Williams makes it as a paint color. I think it's so pretty. I'm really into like the Hygge aesthetic, so Hygge. So it's kind of like blues and whites and cozy, comfy. I really think it's pretty. But that's going to be another probably section that I just start crashing out on. But we'll see. I think between ChatGPT and the rest of the internet, I should be able to successfully get that done. And then as far as the patterns go, I have 2 here. So I'm making a capelet, a hooded capelet, and a coat. And that's kind of going to be my like outfit, the whole of the project. So we'll be doing Mikhail's. This is M7477, and we'll be doing View D. And then we're going to be doing a Vogue basic design for the actual coat itself, 79040, and then we'll be doing View C. Now, I bought this pattern when I was a little bit skinnier. So, kind of the third challenge of this project is going to be sizing up the waist for this particular pattern, because it's sized for 28. I'm 30, so I think if I size it up just a bit, it should be okay, because it fits the rest of my measurements. Now, have I ever done that before? Nope. But I am about, 10 months out, so it's not like I need to get this done tomorrow. However, I'm definitely gonna keep myself busy. So that is kind of my introduction for you for this project. I'm gonna try and do weekly updates for you guys, because I personally think that like pinning and watching people iron, I would find that boring. But if you guys are like, no, I want to watch you like cut things out, let me know. So that is part 1 of making a coat to manifest my acceptance to a Dongbei University. Hope to see you in part 2.